And a good Sunday morning. It's the Positively Petland show on 800 KXIC.com. I'm Jerry Lawler. In studio, we are joined with Iowa City Petland owner Ron Solsrud. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning.
What are we talking about this week?
The American Eskimo. Is that the right breed for you? So we're going to cover all the ins and outs of what this is about, the history, what's it like to have one, and all that. Then we're going to talk about Easter bunnies. Oh, my kid's talking about getting a bunny all of a sudden. Why is that?
Why would that be?
I don't know.
Maybe 2 weeks away, Easter?
And so we'll talk about what is it like to have a bunny? Is that really the right pet for your family? We're going to talk about dog chewing. Why do they do it? How can you help them with that? And then if we have time, we're going to squeak in the lickety stick. What is that thing? And once you find out what it is, you're going to go, oh, I got to get one of those things.
The lickety stick. I'm guessing it's some type of dog treat.
It is like an alternative. It's a play on dog treats. It's, when you're training your dog and you're giving them a treat, what is it really you're giving them? I mean, because you're giving them a tiny speck of something.
A reward,
a taste,
an encouragement.
Yeah. And the lickety stick took that and made it and said, well, gosh, if you only need the taste, let's give them the taste. And so
so it literally, it's just like a sucker maybe, or something
in that same line, right?
All right. So it is the Positively Petland show every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock right here on 800 KXIC. Are you in the mood for our amazing pet story of the week?
Oh, always.
Always. Let's do it.
It's time for the amazing pet story of the week.
Well, this one comes to us from Georgia. Excuse me. This one comes to us from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, wait. Like Google Maps just went.
It just fast moved a little bit to the south. So, Wally is the kitty.
Wally the cat. That's a good name for a cat.
Well,
I've not heard that one before.
There's an interesting reason that the Florida fire crew has named the kitty Wally. Wally, the kitty, is safe and up for adoption after Fort Lauderdale fire crews rescued it from a wall inside a home that had burned.
Oh, inside the wall. I was thinking of like crawling on a wall.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, this cat, Wally, was actually inside of the wall. Fire crews managed to listen for the kitten as it was creeping around the house and listening for its meows. Once the little kitty was tracked down by thermal imaging after the fire, crews cut a hole and rescued it. The kitten, which crews nicknamed Wally, was taken to a no-kill adoption center and will likely be available for a loving home. A deputy fire chief thinks that the mother cat likely was caring for the kitten in the home attic when it wandered off and got trapped inside the walls. So fire crews...
attic. Okay, that's how it's getting in those walls.
That's how it got in.
Did that?
Is that why you raised your hand going, I have a question, Jerry?
Yeah,
I saw you raise your hand and I was like, no questions right now. Let me get through this. So yeah, fire rescuing, working double duty using thermal imaging in order to track down where the cat was crawling.
Well, it's
through the wall.
That the fire department has such a device.
Yeah,
fires looking for fires in the wall.
I guess.
I used to live in Arlington Heights, a suburb of Chicago, when I was a kid, and the racetrack, which was an infamous fire there of many, many years. I remember I was working. Gosh, I just started working. That's a long time. That's 25 years ago.
Wow.
No, I'm not that old. I'm only 15.
Forgive my sarcasm there.
And I could see it from the window that, it was going up in flames. All I saw was smoke. The smoke disappeared. And we went, they saved it. They saved the racetrack, the Arlington, Heights racetrack. And then it was like a couple hours later, something like that. All of a sudden, whoosh!
Really,
a much more massive fire occurred. There was so many remodels on that racetrack that the fire got into the walls. they didn't see it anymore. They didn't even know that these rooms existed, kind of a thing. And it just then engulfed the entire thing.
Well, this is a good story that Wally the kitty was saved. You know,
Yes.
I had a hamster years ago.
Got stuck in the wall during a fire?
Not during a fire, no, but in my parents' house over on east side of Iowa City, I swear to God, you could hear that thing years later. Maybe it was a mouse. I can't say for sure, but it did get out. We never found it, and we would find like
Little droppings.
not only droppings, but like inside the fuse panel box, there would be different bedding materials where you could see that it had scurried up through. And we didn't to set any trap because we said, hey, if he broke out of jail and he wants to be free in our house, have at it.
Yeah.
And I swear it was years later that you hear that thing scurrying around.
It was saying, calling you by name
It
in the
was
middle
like-
of the night. It's haunting you.
It's probably the size of a guinea pig now. And
Some of those, yeah, when they're well fed, I'm always amazed on how big they can get.
yeah, hamsters aren't generally any bigger than Twinkie. But then there's some out there that, you know,
Like, ooh, well fed.
yeah. And I remember also they would stuff all the food in their cheeks.
Oh, then they're
and,
cute when they do that.
and then they do that. But
We
yeah,
gotta do the hamster. We'll do that next week, maybe.
but we are going to be talking about the bunny and also
The American Eskimo.
the American Eskimo breed and lickety sticks. Is that all right?
In general, chewing. We got a lot on our plate. I don't know if we're going to get through all this, but
Well-
we'll try.
We'll give it a shot. It is the Positively Petland Show, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. Glad to have you along right here on 800 KXIC and KXIC.com. We're going to continue the talk with Ron from Petland, Eastside, Iowa City. Good morning. It is the Positively Petland Show on 800 KXIC. Joined in studio, we are with Ron Solzrud, owner and operator of Petland, Eastside, Iowa City. Good morning, Ron.
Very good morning to you.
And so we are talking about the Eskimo, American Eskimo.
American Eskimo.
I already forgot. And we're going to be talking about bunnies and treats for your puppies. So it is the Positively Petland Show, Sunday mornings on KXIC. So tell us about the American Eskimo. Let me say it this time. Is it the right breed for you?
Very good question.
Thank you.
So what we're doing here is reading from AKC's book, a massive book on breeds, and it just gives a really nice flavor for all the different breeds that are out there. And it's what the new complete dog book 24. I'm working with the 21st edition. I think that's the most current, even though you wouldn't believe it by the condition of this book, but I use it quite a bit.
Gives a nice flavor. Was that a tease about the lickety stick coming up?
Yeah. Wait, what did I do?
You said the book gives you a nice flavor about all of the dogs.
Yes.
And I was like,
There's a tease.
that was an incredible segue. I like that.
I like when I do things I don't even
You
know.
don't even realize
Yeah,
what you're doing.
I did. All right. So the history of the American Eskimo. In the 19th century, the American Eskimo dog, at the time known as, and there's three of them, the Spitz, Eskimo Spitz, or American Eskimo Spitz, was commonly found in communities of German immigrants. And why I squinted just now was I was supposed to tease you with that.
Oh, do it again. I wasn't listening. No, I'm just kidding. German immigrants.
Yeah. I was going to still see if it was going to stump you here later on, but it didn't. The breed is believed to have descended from the white German Spitz and other European Nordic dogs. Despite its name, the breed has no links to the Eskimo culture. Just looks like it. I get that one. Didn't know that it didn't have the link there. Originally, a multi-purpose farm worker used as a herder, hunter, hauler, guardian, and devoted companion. The breed was granted AKC recognition in 1995, which is not that long ago.
It's like 22 years ago.
Yeah. So this is a more recent breed. What do you think is the oldest breed we've reviewed so far?
Oh my.
I got to stump you with something.
Yeah.
And how many years ago was it developed?
The Pomeranian.
Oh, I like that. That is an older one, but that's kind of mid-range actually.
Okay.
It's not the Shih Tzu, but the Pekingese.
Pekingese. Okay.
2,500 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that just something? All right. So a little bit more about the little Eskie. The American Eskimo has a double weather-resistant standoff coat in white or white with biscuit cream. The hair grows in a distinct pattern and in a ruff around the neck area. It protects against weather extremes. So it was designed for that outdoorsy and all that kind of stuff. I do know that in some cases, some families would actually go to the groomer, get this guy cut down a little bit during the summer so that, the weather doesn't get too hot for him. There's theories on this, and I'm not arguing theories here. You can have your own, and I'm perfectly okay with that one. But there's a lot of people, there's some people that would say don't trim the hair, especially on these double coateds, because that's how they balance the temperature in their body, kind of a thing.
I was gonna say I've heard both sides of it.
So my theory, so I got, and I'm not alone, is that yes, you're right. If they're in a Nordic extreme weather kind of area, that would be totally true. Don't cut it. Yeah, they got to moderate the temperature. But when you bring them into a warmer climate, such as Iowa, then that kind of goes out the window. The case in point, and why I'm saying this is the Eskimo does have a very thick coat, is there was a Bernese mountain dog. A friend of ours had one. And we were out there and saw it like resting on the vents, the air conditioner vents in the summer, really lethargic, not like doped up or anything, but just like didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And next time we came, it had a haircut and it was jumping all over the place. Same temperature, same season and all that. And I go, wow, there's a difference. And they said, yeah, we just thought, that's the right thing to do. Did it. And the dog just seemed to be much happier. The family in this case said they also liked it because these are shedding dogs and they're blowing their coats at these points. And we, hastened all of that. And so we're not seeing that shed anywhere near as much anymore because we cut down through it all, and had a groomer do it.
And as you mentioned last week, dogs don't sweat, so they regulate their heat through their temperature through their tongue. With the longer breed dogs, is it
longer breed?
I'm sorry, the longer haired
okay,
breeds. Do you have to shampoo them more frequently? Should you give them more baths, or?
That all depends on what they get into.
Okay.
I think these double coated breeds like the Huskies, the Eskimos.
I just know how I feel
Shepherds.
when I have longer hair. I just feel kind of grimy, and I might want to wash it a little bit more.
I think that's one. It's I think what you're describing. We're conditioned to wash our hair, so we grew up doing it. It feels better to us, quote unquote, when it's washed. So I think some of that is, what do you call it, conditioned behavior.
Okay.
But you brought it up on the front end. They don't sweat, so they don't have that intense oil buildup that we would have. And so you're battling both of those. theories go, we are a shampooer of dogs in our house. So the dog shampoos that are out there now, especially the ones that we have at Petland, Iowa City, you can wash your dog as many times as you want.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that harsh. If you're using Dawn soap, yeah, don't wash your dog more than once a month or every other month. That stuff is really harsh on them. You're going to see flakiness really quickly with that kind of stuff. But we like a clean dog, a nice smelling dog. So it's about every 4 to 7 days that we're washing our own dogs. And we have small dogs, so it's easier.
Yep.
And we love the smell, the fresh scent. So that's my shampoo theory on top of all of that.
Kind of sidelining, but we'll bring it back to the.
So living with this little Eskie. Eskies are healthy dogs with life expectancies of approximately 15 years. They are intelligent, eager to please, and independent thinking dog, which kind of usually indicates that it's a smart dog. Proper socialization, exposing a puppy to a variety of sights, sounds, animals, and experiences will mold the bundle of white fluff known as the Eskie puppy into a well-adjusted, confident adult. Eskies thrive on human contact and family activities. Physical and mental exercise is a must. So what they were talking about, they made a generality, proper socialization, and that's exposing them to all those things, and then even working with them on their reaction. I mean, okay, if you expose them to something and they go ballistic on you, you got to be the parent at that point. And you got to say, whoa, hold the buck. What's going on here? Bring them back 15 feet to whatever they're reacting. When they stop reacting, you're far enough away. Now encourage that behavior and then move forward. So they're getting into socialization of dogs in general. The American Eskimo is a happy, friendly, active dog. It is a shedding dog, like what we've been alluding to, but not saying it. So you will have some shedding. It is a smaller dog. There are different sizes of Eskimos, and we tend to have the smaller miniatures in our store. We have two from the same litter. One's twice the size of the other, so you can get a lot of variation, even from the same. The parents, you're going to get some variation because. Here, we just found out that they haven't been around for very long, 20 some years. When you get a breed that has been bred for many years, you get a much more dependability on size and all that kind of a thing. When they're shorter, they haven't been bred for very long. 20 years is not a long time. Then you're going to get some variations in sizes. Also, this occurs when somebody says, I want, or the general trend, you said Pomeranian. Pomeranians used to be a 40-pound dog. Now they're under 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so you will get some variations with it. I think it's 80 years ago when they were still in that 40-pound range. So that's still in those genes pretty prevalent, even in today's Pomeranians. So you can have two real small parents and all have the giant show up. That happens, and that's breeding. And I know some people go, that's not right. Something's wrong, kind of thing. That's genetics, and that's the way it is. And so once you realize that, I think you go, oh, okay. But we're Americans. We like purebreds because we like that dependability. And so we're looking for that traditional look, size, and all that kind of stuff. I get it. That's we look for the same thing at our store. When I'm out working with breeders, I want to see two parents that are right in the average. I don't want to see a parent that's really, really small because they're trying to get it smaller or anything like that. I want to see averages so that I know that this is going to be an average size dog, really typical. Pomeranians are still going through that flux and change. Yorkies are, everybody wants that 3-pound Yorkie. I'm telling you, in breeding, there really is no such thing as a healthy 3-pound Yorkie. And
I think that's kind of the way that our human culture has evolved. Is 80 years ago, we were more rural, and so the farm dogs were more outside, and now we kind of want the
little things,
the cute little lap dogs.
And so the breeds are going through a change. I love what you just said there, the connection, and that change is going through. So will you find a 3-pound Yorkie? Yes. Oh, they're out there, but that's not the breed standard for sure. And you'll talk with a veterinarian about it. It tends to not be a very healthy puppy. Something's not quite forming right in that puppy. So where a Yorkie can live 15 to over 20 years, a 3-pound Yorkie averages in that 5 to 8 years. So that something's really different if you heard that difference. And that's what's happening out there. So if you're looking for that really tiny dog, I get you. I love really tiny dogs too. But know that aspect of about it. If it's abnormally small for the breed standard, then you're gonna, you could have some troubles. You're gonna have a bigger veterinarian bill usually with those. So there's a bunny trail.
A bunny trail? A bunny trail?
Did you see that bunny trail? Where's the bunny?
Where is the bunny? I want to know. I like bunnies. And it is that time of the year that you probably see a lot of very interested kids over at the store. Do you have bunnies at the store right now?
Yeah, we always have bunnies throughout the season. Bunnies are a pretty popular pet. I think about 30 go home a month.
Really?
And in the Easter season, this is one of those where Christmas, everybody thinks more dogs go home. They don't. It's the same amount every month. There is no change in it from month to month for us.
Huh.
Bunnies, I'm going to say yes. At Easter time, it upticks. Usually there's not even enough to satisfy what everybody wants, because I think I think in this case, I think people understand dogs are a bigger commitment in a lot of different ways. Length of how long do they live, size, they're bigger. The bigger the dog, the more the commitment even. So people are understanding that, I guess. Then when you go to a bunny, small little, that's pretty easy. Yeah, sure, honey, let's get the bunny, kind of a thing. And then they're usually lower cost too, which is, you don't have that cost as being a deterrent.
We had a couple bunnies when we were growing up. Like I said, we always had some type of pet around. I don't remember much about the caretaking. I was pretty young. I was probably less than 6 or 7. And so I just don't remember the caretaking, but are they fairly easy to take care of?
Fairly easy for the size that they are. So if you're all about easy, get a hamster, get a beta fish. That's the king of ease. But if you're looking to get into some more, hey, I want a little more feedback. I want a pet. I want an interactive pet, kind of a thing. Then that's where the bunny starts coming in. So maybe you have already done the beta. You've done the hamster. You've realized that if you have a family with children and they're under somewhere around 11 years old, you're going to be doing most of the maintenance. Bottom line. Now you're going to be very interactive. Hey, we got to feed the bunny. No, I don't want to feed the bunny. You're going to say, no, we made the commitment. And it's something simple like feeding the bunny. You pour it in and you're done, and kind of thing. After 11, I think here, all parents go into that. I'm going to have my child do all the work and all that. There's a lot of, lashback from the child at those ages. And you know what? Mentally, I just don't think that I think a psychologist can say more on this, but I just don't think they're capable of doing it. And the work you're going to have to go through to get them to do it is immense. So you get them interacting with that pet as much as possible at those ages, knowing that you're probably going to do most of the maintenance. After 11, though, hey, we want this bunny. I need the commitment right here. Mm-hmm. You are going to take care of it. If you start crying and whining, you are going to take care of it. Do you understand this commitment? Kind of one of those.
If you can see it on the YouTube video, Ron was like leaning over, doing his dad pointing at me, and I was kind of cowering down as the maturity level of an 11-year-old, going, "Yes, I'll do it. I promise. Anything you want."
Wasn't even sure if I wanted this thing. Now I'm gonna have to get it, and I make the commitment. Yes.
I just wanted to do a little radio show, and I just got reprimanded. But how long do bunnies usually live?
You're in that 5 to 7 years, which is another great point to bring out. When you're considering a pet, think of the life expectancy of this pet.
Well, and you can kind of gauge your other life events. So if you know that an 11-year-old is going to have a pet for 5 to 7 years, well, around 18, they might be going off to college. And so, that's going to be the life expectancy of a certain pet.
That would be a great one there. Or if you have a child and you know that you're a family that's mobile and you guys are going to move and all that kind of stuff. A hamster's 2 to 5 years. So you've got, and by the way, very mobile as well. So a rabbit is it is an interactive pet. You can train them. You not only potty train them, but you can also train them to come. Sit is really easy for a bunny because that's all they do.
I always think of bunnies as kind of pretentious and maybe a little snooty. It always seems like when you look at a rabbit, they have kind of the eyes of, I'm better than you. I just want to sit here and I just want to do my things.
I've never felt that way.
Really?
No.
Every single bunny.
Like a cat, I get that.
Yeah, obviously. But a bunny is just kind of like, maybe I'm looking at the wrong bunnies.
Right. I don't know what kind of bunnies you're looking at. I've found them, and that's all interpretation.
Sure.
And so it's your interactions. I remember my first interaction with a bunny was actually a wild bunny, and it was being chased and got caught by a cat. And we shooed the cat away, and the bunny was a little injured, and so we took it in and nursed it and all that. So that was my first interaction with a bunny. Then got a bunny, a domesticated bunny as a result from that.
Now, you're using the term bunny. I think I've always used the term rabbit. Are they used interchangeably?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, bunny usually refers to a more of a baby kind of rabbit.
Okay.
But there's no
difference between the two.
Yeah, bugs,
like a hamster or a gerbil.
Bugs just totally annihilated any verbiage in this sense.
Gotcha.
Bugs Bunny, he was an adult. He was a bunny.
Okay.
So, I don't think there are some terms that the rabbit breeders will use and all that kind of stuff. But for us, rabbits and bunnies.
So we're talking about bunnies.
So some of the maintenance that you're going to do a weekly habitat change on a bunny. It's going to have a habitat approximately a good size, appropriate size, about 4 feet long and about 2 to 3 feet back. That's the proper habitat. We have the ideal habitat in our store at a really good price. That it's nice size. It has multi-levels. It has a little hideout. It's got food dishes and watering and hay bales and all sorts of things going on, all included on it. What I really like about it is the accessibility of this cage, because you open up the top and you now have full access within it, rather than going in from the little side hole and you're like, where's that bunny? Kind of a thing. This one is really accessible, really easy to clean. You take the top off and then go bring it outside or into the sink or whatever to give it a wash in once a week. So that's the maintenance side of things. You're going to use bedding in the habitat with a litter in the litter box, not clay like you would use for a cat or anything like that. There's bunny litter that is odor removing and all that kind of stuff to make all the smells go down. Smell wise, if you take care of that habitat once a week and some spot cleaning throughout the week, really minimal smell. Now, if you let it go, you're gonna smell the urine, but that's only due to lack of maintenance. Or if you get 2 bunnies, realize 2 bunnies means twice as much, and so you're gonna have to do that twice a week then. So that's that. You can train the bunny. We're going to talk about that a little bit, to stay and come and all that kind of stuff. The college kids, so when they get out of the dorms and they're in a place where they can have pets, they're the ones that showed me how easy it was to train bunnies, because they'd bring the bunnies in and go, watch this, sit, stay, and then they'd walk away. All right, come.
Really?
So it was all purposeful, and they came up with some really cool tricks that they can get the bunnies to do that were all fun and all that kind of a thing. And so they are trainable in that. So there's that interaction, obviously, that takes time. Dogs might be a little easier to train than a bunny, but they can be trained. I had a guinea pig, and what I loved as a child is when I was watching some cartoons way back when on Saturday mornings. Remember when it was only Saturday mornings? Or was reading a book or something, I'd have my little guinea pig, in this case, on my lap and just sitting there with me, hanging out with me. And I loved, those are my best memories of having a pet. And
they do that high-pitched little kind of squeal or chirp.
The guinea pig does. Yeah. The rabbit really is a quiet pet. It does have some sounds that some of them will get out. I've never had a rabbit that did that, and just rarely. I can't even think. It's more of a chortle that comes out of a rabbit, and when it happens, some people have rabbits that just do it, and when I hear it, I'm like, what was that? So furry and all that. Okay, so they are furry. Very, soft to touch and all that, but they do shed. So know that. We've talked about the Furminator on air here a bunch of times. The Furminator for a bunny is really, really good. We actually do furmination treatments in our store for some of our customers. They call ahead and say, hey, we're bringing our bunny in for the nail trim. Can you also do a furmination too? And it's just a comb that takes out that loose fur, and you do it 5 minutes to 10 minutes a week. And you have removed most of that loose fur. And so that keeps that shedding and it's on my clothes things down to a minimum. What else do we have on here?
Do bunnies bite?
Yes. Anything with a mouth bites.
Okay.
Dogs bite, cats bite.
That might be one of my memories is nipping the end of my finger and having it.
Now, do they bite a lot? No, they
Okay.
don't. If they feel like they're being harmed, they're scared and all
And
that.
and the teeth are sharp. I mean,
Yes. But typically a bunny does not bite, or
Okay.
it doesn't bite often. My guinea pigs are in that same boat. They don't bite. They don't bite often, I think is the thing. Did Wilbur bite me a few times? Yeah. In that case, it was more of a shock than it was anything. Like, yeah, I felt the teeth, you know.
And you might have to actually encourage them. Like I'm a little kid at 6 or 7 years old. I'm sticking my finger in its mouth.
Yeah.
And it bites me. Okay, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, or you're picking me up and I don't want to be picked up because I've been held too long and I want to get out and run around. And yeah, okay, I'm going to give you a little nip. Okay. So it's more them training us what it likes and dislikes. And that's the thing. Not a lot of biting though.
And you mentioned it during earlier, the leash for a bunny.
Right. And so people will get different pets and say, I've had this bunny, my child is just not interacting with it. It's like pulling teeth now. What can I do? I go, get them back in love with that bunny. If you fall in love, you can fall out of love. Let's get them falling back in love again. There was a marriage theme right there. I just
gotcha.
brought out. So, all right. So you fall back in love with the bunny by getting your child a harness for the bunny. And now the bunny can take your child for a walk. Hey, it's a beautiful day. Let them get out there. With our guinea pig, we actually had them yard trained. If you don't have cats in the area, and we did not, so there was no predators to hurt my guinea pig in this case, or hurting the bunny. I used a leash at the beginning, and I noticed that I could lay down in the grass with my guinea pig, and my guinea pig just didn't run away. Mm-hmm. Well, I eventually just unleashed my guinea pig. Well, then, you get thirsty, kind of thing. And, I had to go inside and I, got drink or whatever, came back out and guinea pig was still there.
So you conditioned it and you sort of trained it to.
We conditioned that guinea pig all the way to in the morning, open the door, let him out on the patio. He would scurry over to the garden. In the evening, we'd go back into the garden and pick him up out. Was always there for the life. And that guinea pig lived to like 8 years old, which is kind of a little bit above average. So you can condition them to do things. Now, you always have to be cautious, just like with a dog or anything. I'm not saying that this is right for everybody, and I'm not saying that it will never run away. Wilbur ran away twice, and it was both during electrical storms. When you're like in the house, it's torrential, there's lightning all over the place, and you went, we left the guinea pig outside. And found both times underneath neighbors' air conditioners. It just figured it out, got underneath, and
he probably gave you a look of, yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
Did you really leave me out here?
I had to take care of myself out here. This was not right. But also found that really loved dandelions. Would take care of the dandelion population in the yard, kind of a thing. So a lot of neat things that you can do with these bunnies and small animals to help them out. So really interactive, real fun. Ways to keep your children and yourself more engaged with them. There's a lot of different things that you can do with them.
So moving into
how much time do we have?
I don't know, about another 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes. So let's just touch on dog chewing. And the reason why I was bringing it up, because we talk about all sorts of different things frequently like potty training for a dog, because a lot of people have issues with potty training and all. But we don't get into chewing as often. And I think that's one of the frustrations of people with dogs, where it chews up the rug, it chews up the furniture, it chews up the door, the molding, the whatever. And, so why does the dog do this stuff? Well, the dog might do it as a puppy, might be doing it just because it's teething. Teeth are coming through, it needs chews. So if you've got a young dog or cat in this case, they chew because those teeth are coming through. And just, do you have this memory of when you were younger and you were losing your teeth and it felt good to clamp down on things? Do you remember that feeling?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because my son Quinn, who's turning 7 this month, just lost his first tooth on Thursday night.
Wow.
And so
there's a mile marker.
Yeah, it is a mile marker. And so he's feeling around with his tongue now, but I noticed he was sticking a piece of like tissue paper into his mouth, and he liked clamping down on it.
Clamping.
Because he liked feeling that, just kind of that sensation.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's, I remember my molars, those bigger teeth. When I clamped down, it just felt good.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And that for what, I guess somehow that's helping them come out. I don't even know how that works, but so the dogs have that same feeling, and they're just and they need to chew on things. So you can do some of the same things that we do for children. So chews for one thing, and kids have the chews. But you know how they have the frozen kind and all that to soothe it? There are frozen chews that you can do for your dog as well. So, but I think just having a general variety of chews for your dog will help you preserve carpets, tile, molding, furniture, and all the other things that they're going after in your house, and having a variety. So everything from really hard chews with different textures, even so bumps and lumps and all that kind of stuff. There's some hard chews like Nylabone, and now there's a lot of Nylabone knockoffs that are doing different things, but they'll have flavors in them to attract the dog more to them. But that's a hard chew. If you find your dog really rivets through one of the chews really quickly,
like 5 minutes, Greta destroyed something.
I'm going to encourage you, if it was the right chew, go get another one.
Okay.
Because what did it do? It chewed up the chew, but it didn't chew up your furniture. What do you want at this point? Okay, but I had to pay money for that. Yeah, I get it. But you're going to pay money for that furniture too, to replace it. So Nylabone, for instance, there was a puppy chew, and it was a medium-sized breed. Customer comes in, I want my money back on this. And I go, yeah, your dog destroyed it, that's for sure. What happened? It's a chew. What are you talking about here? Well, I bought it, for my dog, and it lasted for about 4 or 5 days, and it should have lasted longer. I go, your dog is going through teething right now. You found a chew that your dog loves.
The Nylabone, I would have to say, was Greta's favorite. And once, so she was a little bit older, but that was one that actually, as she got older, seemed to last her the longest.
Yeah.
She would destroy, like the rubber tire, the Kong.
Yeah, the rubber tires.
The Kong, the one that you put the peanut butter on the inside. She absolutely loved those. But some of the, I guess, more fabric ones, they wouldn't
hold up.
They just wouldn't hold up because of the biting. If you don't realize, the jaw is the strongest muscle, pounds per square inch of humans, at least, and I would assume with
I think the alligator is the only thing that comes out like it can really do a lot more,
definitely.
But only way back, like what you said.
Yep.
Way back there is how they get it. They can't do it out on the tip.
And dogs just tend to use their nibble, and then they'll get something back there.
Yeah. So in this case where and we're talking about it fairly quickly, but 5 days, I said go buy 5 more. You found something that really works and the dog really likes it, go get that, because it's better that than their furniture. That customer got it and did buy 5 more. And I went, good for you, because now you understand dog at this point. But let's say it does go through it in 5 minutes or something. Okay, let's go get something harder in this case. Nylabone and the other manufacturers out there of those kind of things have harder ones, and I'm going to point out bigger ones. So what did you just say gets it to the back of the jaw?
So the bigger the toy, it's going to be a little bit harder for them.
Harder to get it to the back of the jaw, to get that really big pounds per square inch all onto that toy. So if you have a dog, so it might not be switch the toy out, just get a larger version of that toy so that they can't get it all the way to the back.
And Greta was 123 pounds, so we ended up getting her steel radial tires off of a car. I'm kidding. But there
my eyes went up on that one.
The large toys were still small for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you look at a smaller dog. A lot of the toys that are out there are just going to be gigantic for that little dog. But it is certainly with a larger breed that I had. It was a little bit harder to find the bigger toy until she was a little bit older.
Right. And at Petland, you'll see a large variety of sizes and kinds. And the reason why we do that is to fit your dog with the right one. So, and as your dog is growing, let's say it's a puppy, you're going to know, oh, that one started going quick. We're going to go to the bigger one, kind of a thing. So how much time do we have now? Because
we're fine. Yeah.
Lickety stick or
can I tell you? I'll let you grab your coffee here really quick. Can I tell you my favorite chewing story from Greta?
Yes. I'm dying now.
This would have been probably 2008, 2009. We got home and from vacation, and the dog was over at my parents' house. Well, when you get back from vacation, what do? You go pick up the mail. You pick up the newspapers that have been on hold for the entire week and whatnot. And what's the first thing that you do when you get home after a week's vacation? You go to the store and you get milk and food and whatnot.
Replenish.
Well, we hadn't seen Greta, and she was probably 3-4 years old at the time, and we hadn't seen Greta for the entire week. And so we come home from vacation, and she's on top of us, just going crazy and everything like that. And so what do? We grab the entire week's worth of newspapers, and we set them down by the door. We get unpacked, we get situated, and then we leave again. We leave again for the store. And Greta shredded, and I'm talking down to the tiniest little piece of paper, 100 pages of newspaper.
I think she just needed to read. And she was paging through it fast.
We came home after about 15 or 20 minutes at high.
Wow, 15, 20 minutes.
And she had I have a picture. I'll try to post it up on my personality page at kxic.com. She had these papers absolutely shredded across the entire living room. And when we came home, she was just laying there going, wait a second, what's going on here? You left for a week and then you leave me again. This is what happens. And it was one of those things that we just walked in the door going, you got to be kidding me.
Didn't want to read it anyways.
Didn't want to read it anyways. So that's my favorite Greta chewing story. But on the treat side of things, the lickety stick.
Yes. And there's a lot more to even talk about on the chew side.
You can talk an hour about it.
Yeah. And so if you have those issues, come on to the store and we'll show you even more. If you went, oh, I never even thought about that. There's a lot more to that chewing. The lickety stick is a really cool product, and that picture a roll-on. So your deodorant roll-on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So don't put the deodorant in there. Put a little juice in there that tastes to a dog really, really good, smells to a dog really, really good. When you take the cap off of this, the lickety stick, your dog within 30 seconds at least, or at most, smells it and goes, oh my gosh, what do you got over there? And then they, sniff the little ball applicator and then give it a lick and then watch out. Lick, 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 lick. It is something that they really, really like. I think it's just a really unique, out of the box way of rewarding your dog for a multitude of things. So let's say you're trying to get your dog to walk with you by your side. Have that lickety stick at the ready, and when they're walking, plug them in and just let them lick while they're walking next to you. When they start veering away, stop. Don't give it to them anymore. And then you can wean them off of it over time. So when they walk next to you for 10 seconds, now give them a lick, 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 and then stop, kind of a thing. And then elongate that more and more so that you've got a consistently walking dog next to you. So you can use it in a lot of different ways. You can do this with treats. I'm not saying this, you can do it just as easy with a treat. It's just a neat way of doing it. And when you see how much your dog loves it, it's incredible. These things are, I think, $6 or something like that. So they're not expensive. I think it says 500 licks per bottle. So so economically, it's a really good treat on top of that. So it's a wonderful out of the box way of helping your dog learn what you want, or just having fun with them. You can just use it for a treat.
Makes you wonder the whole entire production of pet toys has evolved over the years, but who sits there and is saying, I want to come up with the lickety stick? How do they even think up these ideas?
I think you actually brought it out a little earlier in that you said a lollipop or something, and somebody probably went, yeah, if it was a lollipop though, it gets gross after a while. Then where do you put it?
Right.
And somebody drew a connection to, well, what else do I use that I don't really want to touch it, but I can put it. And that's a pretty long stretch, but came up with the deodorant bottle.
Well, and with something like the lickety stick, also dog bones, you don't carry dog bones in your pocket, because they're going to get dirty or they smell. You're not going to carry them in their car because, but with something like this, where it has a sealable cap, you can throw it into your purse, you can throw it into your pocket, keep it in your car, wherever you're using your dog. So it seems like a really, economical idea.
Yeah. Oh, it works really, really well. It's very popular. We do, I think, over 100 a month on those things of them. So it's a real popular one.
We are finally at our time. Any final thoughts about things that are
a little bit about our store and what we're all about? My wife and I here, we just got back from a trip. We're constantly out with our breeders, checking them, making sure they're doing the right things. And I'm telling you, there are some fascinating, cool things going on with breeders in Iowa and across America. Kennels that look nicer than a remodeled kitchen. Dogs, mom, dad, puppies that are just well socialized. It's a really neat revolution that's occurring across America right now. We just got back from kind of a different way of looking at stores. And so we were looking at stores and saying, what can we bring back to Iowa City to wow the people of Iowa City? And so we're coming up with dreams. We did find that it's very expensive to do a lot of this stuff. And so there's a little sticker shock occurring with us right now. So, but figuring out how we can bring that to you so that you have even a better experience, even in our store. So we're constantly out there looking at things, going to trade shows. You want to talk about the funnest thing to go to a pet supply trade show. It's like toys and candy and all that, but for dogs. And there's something just really fun about it. We're always doing that. If you want to come in and experience what we do, we got buy 10, get 1 free on all of our dog food and cat food. That's just an incentive for you to come in and check us out. We do $5 nail trims. If you're a little, I don't want to do that to my cat or my dog or my rabbit or my guinea pig, bring them on in. No appointments necessary. Just bring your vaccination schedules in with you, and we'll take care of that. Lickety split.
Lickety split.
So some reasons to come in and just have fun.
Yeah, well, it's great that you're looking at other possible, improvements to the store, because as a local business owner, it shows your commitment not only to Petland but to the local area and keeping all of our pet lovers and our pet owners informed. So thank you for the commitment to Iowa City, and head over to Petland. Hours today, really quick.
Noon until 6 on Sundays, and then every other day we're open at 10, closed at 9 p.m., 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every other day, except for today, which is noon to 6.
Thank you, Ron, from Petland, East Side Iowa City, right over by Lucky's Market. Thank you, Iowa City Marketplace, East Side Iowa City. It is the Positively Petland show right here every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock on 800 KXIC and KXIC.com. Have a great day.